Some business news. Kate is with us here on set. We're starting with the news that the long-struggling Yahoo may finally, at last, have found itself a buyer, Kate.
Yeah, that's right. This is after a several months-long bidding process. And the telecommunications giant Verizon is emerging as the winner, expected to confirm a nearly $5 billion deal to take over the core internet business of Yahoo. That's according to U.S. media reports, which say the agreement will be announced just before Wall Street opens on Monday. Verizon bought another old-school internet powerhouse, AOL, last year, and we understand the idea is to merge Yahoo and AOL to try and create a viable competitor to Google and Facebook in the digital advertising market. The deal is expected to bring an end to Marissa Mayer's 4-year tenure, during which she has unsuccessfully tried to bring the company back to profit.
Now, this weekend, the finance ministers of the group of 20 largest economies met in China, in fact, and the impact of Brexit was weighing very heavily there.
Yeah, the consensus really was that the UK's decision to leave the European Union is going to heighten the risks to the global economy at large. Britain's new finance minister, Philip Hammond, said that he was working to try to reduce that uncertainty. The group, meanwhile, said it would take steps to support global growth and better share the benefits of trade. Here's US Treasury Secretary Jacob Lew.
There was considerable discussion of the outlook for the global economy, particularly in the wake of last month's referendum in the United Kingdom. There was a broad agreement that financial markets remained orderly and that financial reform had added important resiliency to financial institutions. Overall, the general sense was that the outlook remains uncertain, with a continued shortfall in aggregate demand.
Jacob Lew there. Let's have a look at the markets then, Kate.
Well, the European session has just opened. We're seeing the London FTSE with a flat open, the CAC 40 and Frankfurt DAX opening just ever so slightly in the green. Investors around the world will be eyeing the Bank of Japan and US Federal Reserve later this week to see if they announce a change in monetary policy or follow the lead of the Bank of England and European Central Bank in deciding not to unleash new stimulus measures post-Brexit. We saw Asian markets turning downwards, the Nikkei closing just slightly in the red after a mixed session. This despite better-than-expected trade data, which showed Japanese exports dropping less than expected, 7.4% in June. Now, meanwhile, the Japanese electronics giant Nintendo has seen its shares plunge about 17% on Monday. This after it said the financial benefits from the hit game Pokemon Go will be limited. The company's market value had doubled since the popular mobile game was released earlier this month, but Nintendo only has a 32% stake in that franchise, not enough to boost its struggling results in the medium to long-term future.
Kate's going to tell us now about a big sale in the fashion world.
Yeah, not a sale for consumers necessarily.
No.
This is the French luxury group LVMH. It's announced that it's selling Donna Karan International for an enterprise value of $650 million. The American fashion group G3 has bought the designer a year after founder Donna Karan left the house. G3 owns licenses for brands like Calvin Klein, Tommy Hilfiger and Ivanka Trump's fashion line. It's only the second time in its 30-year history that LVMH has sold off a fashion brand. It's known in the industry for instead trying to change designers or executives until a brand takes off.
Now, how to cash in, that is the question that a lot of people are asking in Brazil, of course, with the Olympic Games due to open very, very shortly there. Locals kind of looking for their own way to get a little bit of financial opportunity, I suppose.
That's right. The flood of international visitors and indeed athletes is expected to give a bit of a boost to the struggling Brazilian economy. Short-term job opportunities in particular are being opened up for unskilled workers who are flooding to Rio. This report from our correspondents in the Brazilian capital.
Another day and another Olympic recruitment drive in Rio de Janeiro. Today they've come in their hundreds, one of the last chances to nab a job at the Games.
We have a few jobs to fill today. Cashiers, receptionists, security guards.
With unemployment in Brazil at 11%, work can be hard to come by. Among today's job seekers is Geslet Gudu. He came from Haiti to Brazil in search of opportunity.
I'm here today to find somewhere to work and to earn money for my family.
Thanks to the Olympics, Rio's job market has escaped some of the worst effects of the recession. Since January, this temporary employment agency has recruited 16,000 people. In all, 80,000 short-term workers are being hired for the event. A welcome surge in optimism, But this economics professor warns that it's going to be short-lived.
These jobs won't last. They're short-term. Sure, it's good for people who will work during the Games, but what worries me is what will happen after the Olympics. Where will we be in November? Maybe on a downward slope.
But life without job security has long been a burden for many Brazilians. Rocky makes deliveries on the steep streets of Rio's sprawling favelas. Today, millions of Brazilians like him survive exclusively on casual work. Brazil's precarious shadow economy is worth hundreds of billions of euros a year. It's where many of those getting work during the Olympics will have to return after the Games are over.
Nicholas Ransom there with that report. Thank you to Kate, who's doing the business.